I was not expecting that at all. Hey everyone, it's Shannon and welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to be filming a full face of Revolution Pro. Like, I'm excited. I picked up a full face weather product. I think the only thing I didn't get was a blush and a mascara. It is literally so sunny right now. I feel like I literally need to put sunglasses on. Like, but I did. If you like this video then please smash a big thumbs up and subscribe down below, and yeah, let's just get into the video. Okay, so first I want to go in with primer, and the primer I picked up was the Revolution Pro Correcting Primer, and this is the green one, so this is for anti-redness. And you guys know I love my NYX green primer, so I wanted to give this a go and see how good this is. I'm gonna put it on my hand. Oh my god. I'm just gonna rub it in. This does have a bit more colour payoff than the NYX one, and it's a very moisturising consistency. It's not silicone-y at all, so I don't know if I like that or not though. I do quite like a silicone primer, so we'll just have to see how it goes. After letting that settle in for a couple of minutes, it's a tiny bit tacky. It's not super tacky, it is a tiny bit tacky. It has got a bit of a stick to it, but it feels really, really moisturising on my skin. I also feel like it has calmed down my redness a lot already, so we'll have to see how it goes with foundation on top. But I'm like looking at it in the mirror thinking, I can see it's done something. We're going to go in with foundation, and the foundation I picked up was the Revolution Pro Full Cover Camouflage Foundation. Now I got this in the shade F8, and in the stick foundation I got the shade F6, which was a really good colour match for me, but I still feel like it's just that tad bit too pale for me, because I quite like foundations that give me a bit of colour, give me a bit of something, you know. So I went for F8. I'm a bit unsure if this is going to be a bit too dark now, because F7 had pinky undertones, whereas this one had more yellow to neutral undertones. So I definitely had to pick up F8, but I have got a bit of a tan on at the moment, so I'm hoping that this matches my skin perfectly. But if it doesn't, I am so one for like just lighting up the areas with the concealer, you know? Now I've heard so many good things about this whole like Revolution Pro range, and some more bad reviews are starting to come out now, so like I am really unsure what this is going to be like. Like some people saying it's like oxidizing and stuff like that, so like I am like unsure. At the moment I feel like this could be an okay shade. I'm just hoping that it is. It does feel like thick, so I'm hoping this is going to get me a bit of coverage. In using my Sport FX blending sponge. This is giving me a bit of coverage, but at the moment I'm not too sure if I'm preferring this foundation or the stick foundation. I don't really have many spots and stuff like that, so I haven't really got major to cover. So it is giving me a nice, I would say medium, if you build up a bit more, definitely full coverage. Now it is all blended in, I actually do quite like it. It is a bit more on the thicker side, however it does give my skin a bit of a natural sort of finish. As for the corrector, I don't know if you can see, but that is pretty much covered up my redness, so I'm happy about that. So we're going in with concealer, and I picked up the Full Cover Camouflage Concealer, and I got this in the shade C2 because this is what my Conceal and Define is in. And I've just got really high hopes for this, purely because the Conceal and Define is so good, so I'm just hoping that this meets up to that standard. So one thing I will say is both the foundation and the concealer are a bit more of a thicker consistency. That is the first thing that I'm like proper noticing. I'm not actually too sure if I like the feel of the concealer, because I like my concealer to be a bit more runny, because I don't like feeling like heavy under my eyes. That is blending out really, really nicely though. Absolutely loving the coverage that the concealer has given, although it does feel a bit like cakey under my eyes. Not majorly, but like it does feel a bit cakey, but it is giving me like full coverage vibes, I will have to say. We're gonna go in with eyebrows. Now I personally always like to do my eyebrows before I set my face, just purely because if I like to carve out my eyebrows and stuff like that, not mixing liquids and powders, you know. I've got the Revolution Pro Microblading Effect eyebrow pencil. I've never used an eyebrow pencil before, guys, so you're gonna have to bear with me with this. I got this in the shade Taupe. Now I have had a look at it, and I'm not 100% if this is actually going to be the right shade for me, because I've always gone off the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Pomade, and I have that in the shade Taupe, and that is perfect for my brows to give my brows a nice natural look and not too harsh. But looking at this, it's not a proper taupey shade. It gives me a bit more of an orangey sort of vibe, like the Revolution Pro Brow Cushion. So I'm going to see how this goes. This does give me a bit of a darker effect, so if this is too pale, I'm hoping to like mix it in with this. But I did test this in my last Makeup Revolution video, which you should definitely go check out, and I will link that down below. Okay, so I've just zoomed you in a bit so you can see, like, I don't really know what I'm doing, so I'm just hoping that the shade is not too bad. It has got a really thin tip on it. Okay, so it isn't the hardest thing, but it isn't the softest thing. I definitely think I want to go in with the cushion just to give it a bit more sort of colour, but I do like it, I do like it. The shade isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, and it gives me a really nice natural brow, which I actually love. I prefer it to like a more of a thicker sort of band brow, but that is just my personal preference. I think I might just go over it with the cushion a bit, just to like give it a bit of something, but other than that, I'm quite impressed. So now I'm just going to carve out my eyebrows just using a bit of the concealer. I'm just going to put a bit of the back of my hand and just give them a bit of shape, and also like highlight them as well. Okay, so I've just carved up my brows and they are looking really nice and natural. Okay, so now we're going to set my face, and I'm going to be using the Revolution Pro Pressed Finishing Powder. Now this is a white looking powder, and I'm just hoping this sets my face nicely, to be honest. Okay, so this has set my face really nicely. Next off is contour and eyeshadow and all that jazz. So I picked up the Revolution Pro little mini contour kit, and this is in the shade medium, and this comes with what looks like a sort of subtle highlight, a banana powder and a contour. Now these are all not in a palette, as you can probably tell. So I picked up the Revolution Pro magnetic palette so I can put them in, and then I also got a pack of 5 eyeshadows I'm going to put in there as well, and this is in the this kit is called the Millennial Kit, so in case any of you are wondering. So I have just put them all in this little palette, which I think is so nice because you can also get so many different sets of the eyeshadows as well, so I feel like you can properly make your own palette. But first I want to go in with contouring. This looks like a really nice shade, so I'm just hoping it looks good. I quite like that. Do quite like that. It does take a bit of building up, but once you build that up, I love that. You know, all of this makeup is very inexpensive. I was going to try and let you guys know how much everything was, but on my actual order form it doesn't actually say the prices. I am in love with that contour. Like, I think it just looks really nice on my skin. I'm just going to go with the banana powder, just like, again, all over my face, just to give my face a bit of like colour, you know. That is a really nice banana powder as well. Before I go with my highlighter, I'm going to do my eyeshadow. So like I say, I got the eyeshadow kit in Millennial, and all of these actually have shade names on the bottom of them, which I think is so cool. It comes with 3 mattes, a full-on Bam glitter, which I'm so excited to try, and then a almost matte but has got a bit of a shimmer in it shade. So first of all, I'm going to take this shade here, which is called, I don't know what, I don't even know if I'm going to attempt how to say it. Unruly? I think that's it, Unruly. Yeah, if I said that wrong, sorry. I think that's what it says. So I'm going to take that throughout my crease, you know, just give a nice sort of transition shade. That is way more pigmented than I thought it was going to be. I absolutely love that shade. So next off, I'm going to go in with the shade TGIF, and it is this really nice purpley burgundy shade, and I absolutely love it. So I want to go in the crease and a bit more in the outer corner with this one, and it's so pretty. They're blending so nicely like together. I just love it. This one is in the shade Selfie, which I love the name for that. I'm just going to wet my flat brush just to give it a bit of wetness. I'm going to go in with the shade. That is pigmented. Really foily sort of finish, which I love in a glitter. So I'm going to go under my eyes with the shade Stubborn. I am so in love with these shadows, they are so pigmented. Next one, I'm going to remove mascara, and obviously I don't have a mascara from Makeup Revolution, so I'm just going to go in with my Maybelline Total Temptation, and I'll be back in a sec. For highlight, I'm going to be using the Revolution Pro 4K highlighter palette, and I got mine in the shade Rose Gold, just purely because I've got a couple of gold highlighters now, so I was like, I want to get some rose gold ones, and this palette is absolutely insane. I am in love with the shades that are in here. I feel like I could probably get away with all of them. Okay, so these like swatch, so amazing. They do feel a tad glittery, if that sort of makes sense, but they literally look insane, if you can see. Like, look how gorgeous they are. I think I'm going to take, I don't know which shade, I think I'm going to go in with this one and maybe a tiny bit of the white one. Oh, I'm just hoping this looks like... Okay, maybe that's a bit too much. Come on honey, blend it out. I was not expecting that at all. My nose is going to be glowing for days. I am an absolute highlighter sucker. I love a highlight. These highlights are insanely pigmented and so nice. The only thing is they're a bit chunky glittery. A bit like there is a bit of fallout with them. They are a bit more glittery and can be a bit more chunkier than a nice loose sweep. So whereas this palette, this is their Renaissance Illuminating in Gold, this sort of goes on, whereas that one's a bit more chunkier, if that sort of makes sense. So finally, my lovelies, we're going to go in with lips, and I picked up the Revolution Pro Liquid Lip, and this is in the shade Semblance, and I'm so excited to try this. I just love liquid lips, like they're just my vibe. I'm not too sure if this is going to completely go with the look. That is a really me shade. If you know me, this is a me shade. Oh, I love it. It goes on so nice and it literally feels so nice on my lips. Okay, so that is the lips done. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm absolutely in love with this look. Like, it's just so affordable and cheap. Like, you cannot go wrong whatsoever. I just love it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, then please smash a big thumbs up and subscribe down below. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye!